I'm Bob McCallister. I'm now a professor emeritus here. I've been here since '99, and before that I was at Fond du Lac for a couple of years, and then before that I was at Whitewater. I taught at the main campus for a year, and one of my former students is a professor there now, so that's really nice. My bachelor's was from Stevens Point, and my master's was at NIU, where I studied land use and farmland preservation, and I was lucky to work with a guy that was on the cutting edge of that at the time. And so it was really exciting. I got to travel all over the country, and he was just a wonderful guy, and I've had his picture on my wall ever since then. Just a terrific guy. And then at Madison, where I got my PhD, it was at the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies, and I got to work with some terrific people, rural sociologists, and water people, engineers. I had a real mixed bag, and so that was wonderful too. And I stayed there a long time because of the different projects that were so interesting. And then I went to I went to Whitewater for a year, and then Fond du Lac, and then here since then. Yeah, so I started here in '99. I've kind of done a lot of things with kind of service-oriented. So I kind of helped begin the farmers market here in Janesville. And I've really been interested in sustainable agriculture and things like that. I was going to have a farm, but didn't quite happen. And that's one of the reasons I came here. So I've been involved in those kinds of things all along. Environmental things. Had a chance to help plant a prairie at the governor's mansion just a couple of months ago. That was really cool. I was just a worker bee there, but some really, really great people there. It's going to be a good example of shoreline preservation and habitat growth there at the governor's place. So things like that, and green energy, in the last 15 years or so has been a big interest of mine. And I met my future wife at a recycling drive back before recycling was a thing. And so I've been thinking about those things and working towards that with ups and downs over the last 60 plus years. And it's been terrific, and I want to keep doing it as long as I can. I never say I'm going to work now, especially. I always say I'm going to school. I don't want to say I'm going to work. It's what I do here. It's been so great to work with maintenance the last few years on projects here on campus, habitat restoration. It's been gratifying because we've gotten a lot done. And we're hooked in, we're part of nature, everybody's part of nature. And we're hooked into this Rock River ecosystem. So we're becoming more and more one with that in a way. And people are finding this place, and we've got the solar and a little prairie around the solar. So one of the things about what we talked about earlier at our meeting at the beginning of the semester was resilience, and then the idea of belonging. So I guess one of the things I've really enjoyed is trying to help people feel like this is a place they can come to. It's a very warm place. It's an interesting place, and they belong here, and they belong to all of it, not just inside, not just when they get out of their car and walk to the door and go inside, but they're always immersed in nature and this place in a bigger sense. So yeah, when we talked about those ideas of resilience, this is all about resilience too, because we're up against some major issues right now. And so that makes whoever it is, whether it's Tom or anybody else in biology or in the fine arts or in what other discipline, we've got things we have to fix. And we can take all sorts of different routes to do that. And so more and more, I think it's important that we talk about those routes and what we have to do to mitigate climate change and, mitigate habitat loss, which is affecting everything that we do. So the kinds of things that I've taught and we do a lot of here are more important than they've ever been. The people, everybody says that, probably people get tired of hearing that, but it's been great to work with so many terrific people. And the students, I think the people that stay here really enjoy teaching. And they enjoy things like, I think one of the things I enjoy the most is when a student figures out that you actually care about them and that you want them to succeed. And they're kind of like, you have to almost convince them of that sometimes, because nobody's ever done that with them before, maybe. Maybe they're quiet, or maybe they're kind of a troublemaker or whatever. And then when they figure out that you're really on their side, they kind of transform a little bit, and they grow a lot. And that's one of my favorite things, I think. And we do lots of hands-on things here. The students make big messes, and that's kind of old-fashioned seeming now, but I think they still love to do that. And I think that helps people connect with, where we are. We are part of nature, and we need to stay connected with that. We can't just stare at screens like I'm on the opposite side of right now. We have to realize that we're part of the air and water and land, and part of the animal system and plant system at all times. I'd say that this is a very good place to start. Academically speaking, you're going to get a lot of help here. Whether you need it, if you need it, that's great. If you don't need it, it's still going to be great. Because if you do well here, and everybody will try to help you do that, you can go anywhere. You can transfer to the main campus, Whitewater. You could transfer to another UW system. You could transfer to a college very far away. And you could succeed. If you succeed here, you learn how to do college. And you expand your brain, you expand to capabilities that maybe you never would have thought you had. And that's what's really great about this place. You can awaken here to the rest of your life.